Hey there, this is Teresa from Righteous Resin. I am going to show you tonight how to do a Northern Lights cup. So with that, we'll just go ahead and dive right in. This vinyl onto this cup, I'm going to be using this as my base basically for the Northern Lights. What I use is Stone Coat epoxy. I mixed my epoxy with some mica. They're Stone Coat black metallic mica, and went ahead and coated this. First I primed it with black matte spray paint from Rust-Oleum, and then went ahead and covered it with the epoxy. So what I'm going to do is show you how to go from vinyl transfer tape here onto the cup here, epoxy. So what I'm going to do is show you how to go from vinyl transfer, sorry, a little wiggly. Okay, so what I did was I just cut a piece that was just enough to cover my vinyl, probably a hair shy actually, but it'll all work out in the end. And then I saved this piece here to go ahead and move. So try to line it up as best as possible, close as possible. Doesn't matter about the wrinkles here because it's not having to be perfect. This is just for the trees, a template there. And then I have my little scraper, and then kind of run that across the vinyl to get it to adhere to this transfer tape so that I can move it onto this cup. So with that, we're going to peel this off and go straight into the cup. What I'm trying to do is essentially just have the shadows of the trees. Let me move this off my lap. I'm gonna go here because I don't really have a holder for it, so we're going to wing it. I'm gonna line these up along the bottom. I'm gonna start with the center and kind of lay it down as I go. I'm just gonna go all the way around. If it gets a couple wrinkles in it, not that big of a deal. Like I said, it's not a permanent vinyl. It's just basically to give me the outlines of the trees. So I'm gonna keep going all the way around here. And I don't have enough in this strip of trees to cover my whole entire cup. As you can see here, there's this gap between A and B. That's fine. I have extra trees and I'll cut from those what I need. So just kind of go and rub the tree on there through the transfer tape. Make sure that the tops are fixed well, because what's going to happen is you're going to pour some epoxy over this and then add your glitter that you'd like for the Northern Lights look. You've probably seen a few cups like this. I like to do a little bit of a glow to it so that when you have your cup around at nighttime or whatever, you can always see the cool stars in your cup. So I'm just kind of going back across, make sure I get all those little edges done, and then I'll take this transfer tape off and use it again. There's why I saved that piece that you saw. And then a couple pieces, sometimes you'll get this right here. It didn't totally stick, which is fine. You can go back, stick it down. Okay, it's not perfect. Doesn't have to be. I just need the tree line. I mean, you're gonna see bubbles, not that big of a deal. Again, just wanting the tree line. Okay, peel this off, go back, kind of affix it just a little bit extra. I made the mistake one time thinking that I could spray paint my cup and then going to put my vinyl on, did the epoxy, go to remove the vinyl from that cup and lift it up to spray paint. So let's not do that mistake twice, I said, and I decided to go ahead and do the epoxy for the next go around. So I saved that transfer tape because it's good for, an additional use. But you can see how the edges are nice and they adhered well to this cup. So this time when I peel the vinyl off, I won't take the paint underneath it because it's epoxy. So there's this gap here. And I'm gonna just go ahead and cut a section of this. I'm gonna overlap it just a smidge and take to this tree. I don't have my own vinyl cutter. I have a dear friend who lovingly does it all for me, and such a great partnership that way, because I don't have to learn a new basically, well, that didn't work out well, now did it? Might have peered it to the wrong side. Good gravy. You know, it's always something. Line this up a little bit better. Okay. Take this piece off because I don't need the rest of it. Okay, kind of cut out that middle section where you didn't really need to see me fiddle fart with it. So what I'm gonna do is try to continue this tree line. Don't necessarily have to overlap. I just want my continuance of the trees. So, not that big of a deal. Okay, so again, just gonna rub it on there. Make sure that the vinyl sticks to the epoxy real well. Don't care if there's wrinkles, doesn't matter. Okay. And take that transfer tape off of there. Perfect. Just kind of gave it that extra area there. Okay. Okay. So from here, we're going to just kind of go over the edges one more time. That way epoxy can't sneak underneath the vinyl. Because if it does, it's just going to be a mess. Run my fingers back through it. Okay. There. Okay. So you're going to see it's going to have a cool tree line. Okay. So this tumbler is now my turner, and this I'm going to do a thin coat over this with stone coat epoxy, so that way it's just a thin coat so I can apply the glitters and it'll adhere without actually wanting to move and slide. So with that being said, I'm going to do 1 to 1. I'm going to do a very little bit, so maybe 2.5 mils of B. I start backwards, B then A. So there's 2.5 there. That one, I need 2.5 of A. Give me a total of 5 mils. And then I'm gonna stir that for 2 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause you because you don't need to see me stir this for 2 minutes. Okay, so I skipped a step and just kind of put a very thin coat of epoxy on here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start with adding my glitters to this cup. So what I have here is with this Northern Lights cup, I was using Backfist custom glitters. This one's Electric Kiwi, and then I'm going to just kind of do around the tree line. See me kind of, what's great is it kind of turns colors. It's got a color shifting. You can hear probably my dog in the background being a pain in the butt. And when it hits that, you know, really, you can't mess up the Northern Lights. It's really anybody's interpretation of that. So I'm just lightly sprinkling this up and down on the cups. And the green will look blue, and the blue will shift, and the pink will shift. And so I just put a little bit on there. I use the tip of a popsicle stick, not a whole lot of glitter. And then I'm gonna go to the electric bubblegum, which is such a cool pink. Very vibrant, love it. Tap off my stick here. And I'm just gonna go right alongside the green. Kind of follow along. Pick the next one, start at the tree line and work my way up. And a little bit for this one. I get heavy in that tree line, I'm gonna wait for this to come to the ground. Kind of, it turns into a purple. Very cool. You can see, doesn't really stay pinky pink. And if you don't like that, that's okay. You can add other colors in. If you're wanting more of a bubblegum pink, that's quite all right. You can add some other glitters. You don't have to stick with brand that I chose. I'll go back at this tree line and kind of hit it again. And this little spot right here. Not going a straight line, not going diagonally, just kind of, these lights, if you've ever seen pictures of it, they just kind of go everywhere. So that was this one. Let's move on to the next one, which is Electric Rain. It is a blue, which seems kind of backwards. I'm using a blue that the pink turned to purple, blue. That's okay. I'm gonna pick the other side of this green and maybe go right here and see how that pans out. Not bad. It's my first time using backfist glitters. Stays blue, so that's nice. Not a color shift on that one. Just kind of get this color up and drag it around. Okay, I'm going to add in some other colors. I've got about 3 more I want to use. So I'm gonna go with Electric Orchid, nice purple. I think I want to break up some of this blue a smidge. And the extra is just gonna fall off. I use such little amounts on this, it's not even worth it to try to, salvage the little bit that I'm losing. Such a cool cup so far, so great. Okay, just a little bit left, not too much. Let's switch over to a blueberry muffin glitter. Can you see that? Maybe I held it down too far. Gotta focus. Gosh, such a pretty color. Goodness. Okay. Along the top, kind of get that deep sky, dark night sky. Tap the excess off there. Very cool. Okay, not that much used on that. So these little tiny jars go quite a long ways. This is Ursula, same backfist glitters. Very cool. This might be a color shift that I will totally fall in love with because I am digging purple. Oh yeah, look at that. That's amazing. Add a little bit to the next little spot here. Digging it a lot. Oh my gosh, I think that is amazing. I'd like to have seen a little more pink in there. Maybe I could get a little extra on there. I don't know. I think it's pretty amazing the way it sits, but what do you think? I would say this bubble gum, I wish I would have found maybe another bubble gum. I think I have another brand that I can use, so it pops a little more. Let me see if I can. Let me use this glitter chimp hotter than hot. I'm going to use a teeny tiny bit. I mean, just enough to break up the monotony of the darker colors. I don't want to go crazy, so I'm just going to use a little tiny. Oh yeah. I mean, that's just enough right here. If I add too heavy, then it's going to be a mess and dry out sections. Just kind of wanted to drag a little extra there. Kind of give a little more pop on that, I think. I think that'll look fantastic. Give it some time to go ahead and rotate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back after a bit, probably about an hour. This has got like a 45-minute working time, so if I get an hour, then I can go ahead and start peeling up the vinyl without damaging the epoxy. So it's very important. Okay, so I am back. I am going to attempt to remove the vinyl without screwing up the glitter. Wish me luck. So it's been on the turner for about 2 hours, a little tacky, probably the perfect time. Things aren't going to move. The epoxy is not going to slide in the areas I don't want it to. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my, I'm going to turn it off in just 2 seconds. Find a nice starting point, which I just found a little lift in the vinyl, and we'll kind of pull it from there. I'm going to get some gloves because it's invariably going to be still tacky, and that stuff just makes a mess. So with that, I'll put some gloves on. And I have I have a couple different tools here, dental picks and what have you. So I'm going to try to gently get under this little lip in the vinyl that I left, and then slowly work my way up. Try not to tear into it too much. I just want to be able to grab a hold of it. I have another little tool that's a little more easier to manage. So get a little bit of a fingertip here and pull. Proves to be kind of a tedious little task, so I won't make you sit here and watch all of it. Okay, so here is the finished result. Took me a little bit of time to make sure that I got up underneath the edge of the vinyl and got every last section up. So what do you think? Now we're gonna go ahead and let it set overnight. Come back, do a clear coat, and then a fine layer of epoxy, and we're done. So, see? Easy peasy.